Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. It's a beautiful day in the city. I'm talking in the 757 to 804 Virginia Beach. What's going on? What's going on? I just want everybody to come on in the house, hit that share button, because we got some serious talk today. We got to talk about something serious that's going on in our community. And I want you to go ahead and hit that share button and let people be aware that, hey, there's a lot going on in the last couple of weeks, couple of days in our community, that we have a lot of destruction going on. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, give me some thumbs up. Thumbs up if they say. Let me check my volume, make sure everything is working properly. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, sounds to be low. But let me bring the volume up a little bit. Okay. How's everybody doing today? If you can hear me now, clap once. If you can hear me twice. It's a beautiful okay, day. There we go. There we go. There we go. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Let me take this down for a moment. Just wanted to check everything, see everything was working okay. How you doing? Today's we're going to be discussing mental health problems and what can we do to, solve this problem. We can't solve it, but how we can get it under control, and it's a lot of deaths in our community, in the Afro-American community. And I'm talking about our future generation, our history, our future generation is lacking the knowledge. And as they say, when you lack knowledge, you perish. We perish from the lack of knowledge. So I want y'all to make comments. If you're available to do that, go ahead and hit the share button, because it's important for us to get the message out and to get people involved, motivated, and to be aware that it's not just about your family, but the whole community, our whole community in the 757. As you know, that there was a family that young lady took the lives of her kids and her life as well. And this is courtesy of this is courtesy of News 3 about that event going on. WTKR News 3. I would just want to let you know that's for the courtesy, and they're using their picture here about the Chesapeake mother kills her 3 kids, self and family says. We have a lot that people are going through right now, with sometimes it's a single parent in a home, and the parent is dealing with 3 children. And sometimes it's hard for us to recognize when people we're not communicating with people, and things are happening that is causing them to feel like they're lonely, they get depressed, and they get worried because they feel like there's no hope. But what we have to do is learn to be able to recognize these things and talk to our family members, check on our neighbors, check on our friends, and let them know that we do care. And if it seems like there's some things going on, try to get them some assistance, some help, someone to talk to. We got mental health people that you can reach out to and try to get them to understand that when you can't deal with something alone, that you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it. Don't be afraid to ask for something that sometimes people don't know how to. Most people don't know how to ask for help. And the sadness is it's too late when tragedy strikes and then everybody wants to come together. Wouldn't it be better if we have like I mean, we got all these nonprofit organizations, and I don't tell people how to run their organization. But just like the Jehovah's Witnesses go around the door to door, knock on the door and ask, do you want a magazine or something? Why can't we do the same thing when we know people that got kids and people are under stress? Why aren't you knocking on the door, giving them a call to see if they're okay? Stress is a silent partner. Stress is a silent killer. You know, I've been doing talk shows for years. I just didn't start. I was doing talk shows on WRAP with the Frankie Stewart and the Soul Ranger. I mean, Frankie Stewart, aka the Soul Ranger. And when he was doing his talk show with Frank James, and I used to bring guests over, and we'll be, you know, he had invited me to come on to be on the show on a weekly basis. So when I did, people would call in and we'll discuss things about what we could do to get them assistance, you know. And that's the same thing that we have to do. We have to be able to let people know that if they need help, we have to be able to get them that help. You know, I'm going to put a number up there on the line that if people need help, they could call and reach out to the mental health hotline. You know, so we have to be able to let them be aware that there is help out there for them. And we have to be, you know, more vigilant in our community to help young people as well as adults to get the assistance they need, you know, so that we can cut down on this suicide problem that faces everybody in our community. One person can't do it by themselves. And one organization can't do it by themselves. You know, our young people are being bullied in school. That's a mental health issue. Guns, mental health issue. I mean, to me, some of the things that happen in our community, and we talk about it, is we know we send men and women off to war. And this has been going on for well over 400 years. And they suffer from mental health issues because of gun violence, the explosions of bombs. And we act like, oh, ain't nothing wrong. They just acting up. Okay, they acting up. But the challenges that come from gun violence, all these things that our young people face, we got to do better to make sure that they are aware that, and parents need to know that there's a number they can call. And I just put it up there, the 988, that's their suicide and crisis hotline that you can call and talk to somebody, reach out for help. We should not be seeing Chesapeake mother or any city in the 757 kills her 3 kids and self. This is unacceptable in this day and time with all the technology we have, with all the things that we can do to prevent these things, to reach out and call someone. Reach out if you know someone that's going through a serious problem. We have to do more than just lip service. We have to learn to come together. We have to be able to say, I care. We care. We all care. You know, we on Facebook every day, and things that are happening on our Facebook pages and affecting our family and friends. It's time to do more than just keep talking about something and not being proactive. You know, love is the only answer to this. Love is the key to this problem. And I've been mentioning that ever since I've been doing a talk show. Love is the only way we're going to solve this problem. It's not just my problem. It's everybody's problem. We cannot keep waiting to the last moment. And then somebody, oh, there it goes again. The news is going to do their job. They're going to report it, good or bad. One time you would never see this much violence in the news. But that's all you see now. More violence, more violence, more violence. At some point, at some time, we have to be able to say enough is enough and reach out to our young men and women and ask them, what can we do to help? What can we do to help? That's what I need for people to understand. Sometimes just asking a simple question as that can change an attitude. Draw people closer together. And that is the purpose of what I do. Of course, I do a radio station, WVDM. And people are like, well, we got enough radios. Well, you don't have enough radio stations promoting positive music. Because the internet is definitely on the rise when it comes to our young people listening to a lot of negative music. That's part of the factor that we face. We have to come together and talk and be sincere to our young people. Let them know that we care. Let them know that we need them. Because it's important. It's important for everybody to be aware. The only way we can reach our young people is to do positive things and make sure that their friends are doing the same thing. We can't keep waiting to the last minute. You know, my solution is talking, and not just talking, but being proactive in the community. And on my pages now, you see I put a lot of information up there. I'm putting past things that I've done in the community for years. I just didn't start yesterday. Because when I go and talk to people at the cities or police department, they say the only thing you're trying to do is make money. But don't you get a paycheck from the taxpayers? Don't the taxpayer pay you a salary to try to curb the violence? But you're a police officer. Your job is to protect and serve. You don't know nothing about mental health. You take a little class or something, a couple of hours, to try to identify mental health. But the subject winds up getting shot or killed because you was afraid for your life. We need to go back to the Western days. Then there were real men. There were real men being sheriffs, deputy sheriffs. They go out and catch the bad guys by themselves, even though they got shot at. But they always brought that man in. The movie and the things that we listen to and talk about, You know, the things that we go through, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The words of the late, great Martin Luther King. We in the news every day. We in the news every day. We got more negative news than any community there is. Oh, I guess that's why we in the news. We are the problem. We are the problem. But what we have to recognize is we have a responsibility as adults to try to change the mindset of young people, encourage them and motivate them. That's why they listen to music. That's why music is so powerful to young people, because they listen to the person that's talking. They listen to the person that's rapping. Well, I'm going to be like him. I'm going to be like him. But what about his father? Why can't he be like his dad? Why can't he be like his brother, his uncle? We are turning our kids over to so much influence that the internet have over them that we're losing our kids. We're losing them to the pipeline to prison. We're losing them to the cemetery. We're losing them to run away, get involved with gangs and drugs. Because they said, well, they care about me. They got my back. Everybody got your back until you go behind those bars. Everybody got your back while you doing bad things, until you get caught, until you get shot or hurt and you lying in the hospital. How many of them coming to see you? All you got to do is ask people. When you was in jail, how many people came to see you? You call it. Then you answer the phone. This is a call coming from the correctional facility. Will you accept? What? You 300 or 400 miles away. You talk to them once a month, maybe twice. That's not the answer. To bring about a change, we have to talk to the kids, not at them. I know you're saying, I got to raise my own kids. Well, that's true. But don't your kids have friends? Who is he hanging out with? Is his attitude changing when you talk to him? Is he doing the things that you tell him he needs to get done or she needs to get done? Do your kids work together? Do they play together? Do they interact in a manner that is respectful, and the behavior they conduct themselves when they are not in your presence? Because everybody can do good in front of you until you're not at home, you at work trying to make ends meet, working 2 or 3 part-time jobs, maybe a full-time and 2 part-time jobs. You out of the house. Who's raising the kids? Who's overseeing the children? My wife, my first and second wife, worked, but they also took time out to make sure the kids were properly looked after, going to PTA meetings, because I always worked nights, because as a DJ, my job was at night. And when I was working in other jobs, the private sector, I wasn't making enough money. So when I became a DJ, I was making a little bit more money than I was in the private sector. As I continue to improve my skills, my talents, then I was getting a decent salary. At one time, I was working in the private sector and being a DJ and working part-time promoting in the streets. But through all of that, the people that supported me in the community, that came to the clubs that I was DJing or managing, they supported me. And when I got to a level that I could give something back, I did. I gave events, Halloween parties, Christmas parties, donated money to the communities, donated gift certificates to the community. But what I got, I didn't get a water certificate from the city. City told me only thing I'm trying to do is bribe the community. Why do I have to bribe the community? It's the community that put me in the position that I am, that I have always been. That's why I'm putting out footage on Facebook so that you can see for yourself. Because like I tell people, everybody can talk a good game, but do they have the receipts to back them up? I got plenty of receipts. If you go to my Henderson Vaughn Facebook page, I continue to update brief clips of things that I had done in the community, things I'm trying to do in the community, but I'm only one person. My wife is director of community action people with the program that we have to be able to come out to the community, parks or recreations, and even churches to talk to kids and to encourage people to even make a donation or, buy some of my books, because it's a program. It's not just a comic book. It's in comic book form for young people so that they get a better understanding of what's going on with their lives. I got professional staff. They have to get paid. We always want to ask for donations and ask people to donate their time. But everybody's asking is getting a salary. People on city council get paid. And they tell you they want you to volunteer. The police department get paid. But everybody else is supposed to volunteer. You got to have gas. You got to buy materials. There's a lot of things that people think just doing something for the kindness of your heart costs money, especially when you got family and other obligations and responsibilities, overhead, mortgage, house rent, light bill, water bill, gas bill. Then you're going to turn around and ask the person, can you donate an hour or two of your time? But then, once again, the kids don't see you. All the things that we face in our community, asking for help seems to be the hardest thing in the world. So what I try to do is use my talents. I went to college for over 10 years. I've been studying art ever since I was a kid. And then when I'm doing things that I don't have time to do, I hire other people to pay them to do it. Because nobody's doing nothing free. And I try not to ask anybody to do anything for me for free. I try to find someone that can work where I can pay them a little bit at a time. Or I just wait. The burden falls on us as Christians or people that are of faith. God already told you, worry about nothing and pray about everything. We have an obligation to the next generation because that generation before us marched, lost their lives just to get us where we are. And today they're trying to turn back the clock. They're trying to turn back the clock. Because you elect people that feel like they ain't trying to help nobody. They're so angry. They're trying to punish people. Who made you judge and jury? That's why we have all these places in place: Congress, the Senate, state officials, delegates, city council meetings, mayors. Everybody has an obligation and a responsibility to serve in the capacity, but not get up there and, hey, I'm going to use my platform to bully people. I'm going to take people's jobs away. Who does that? Millionaires, people that already got money. Oh, but you don't want nobody to take your money. You don't even want to pay taxes. But you want to take people's jobs that's paying taxes. So where are you going to get the tax dollars from if they ain't working? And why is it that everybody is bipartisan when they want something, but why ain't the Republicans speaking out against this foolishness? One man can come here and run the whole country. This is not a dictatorship. You got people running the country that don't even work for the government. You just give them a job. Hey, I'm going to let this guy right here come in and take over the treasury. The United States is the most richest country in the world. So why is you got a man, because he's one of the richest, take control over the treasury? That ain't making no sense. And we sit around and letting it happen? How is that a president ain't been in office 60 days, going to turn everything upside down? All these deaths that's going on in our country today, and we act like, oh, it's normal. It's normal. Our politics is destroying our community. So with that said, this is the part of what I call I'm starting our history. This is our history. Our history ain't just for February. Our history is 365 days. So let me give you some of our history, courtesy of the people that made these videos, as I rebroadcast them. I don't own the rights to them. I just own the right to rebroadcast them, because if they didn't allow it, I couldn't be able to do it. Take a moment out and see for yourself.
And I want people who are in here who are not black to understand that as well. Because 12 years, 12 steps, the 12-step process to your miseducation. 12-step process to not value who you are. 12-step process to not believe you're anything worthy. Right? Let's think about this real quick. Let's name 5 black historical figures outside of Dr. King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass. Think about that in your head. For most people, that's the fave 5. For most people, that's the only 5. Reflect on that. There were hundreds of people working with Dr. King. Hundreds. Rosa Parks, hundreds of people. Rosa Parks wasn't even the first person to not get up out of her seat, and she'll be the first one to tell you that. Rosa Parks had been organizing for 20 years prior and 50 years after. She didn't pass away in 2005, I think. That happened in 1955. So many more people. Okay, now, another question.
Our history. That's what it's all about. As the young man stated in that video, there was hundreds of other people. We only know the top 5. And he didn't even mention Malcolm X or Megan Everett in that statement. Muhammad Ali, Harry Belafonte, Mahalia Jackson, so many others. Isolating our history to just February. I wonder why. Because it might motivate some of our young people. Instead of them picking up a gun, to pick up a book, to educate and broaden their mind, their perspective of who they can be. I knew about Martin Luther King when I was a child. Not that I had heard a dream speech, but what about the one he said I was a street? If I was a street sweeper, I would be everybody would know the streak I swept because it'll be the cleanest one in the neighborhood. Or do you remember this one? I think I led my people into a burning house. Do you know what he meant by that? Because we was great when we had our own. We stayed separate. We were more prosperous. Do you think racism come because we are black? No, sir. That's not what racism is about. Racism is about how powerful we are when we work together. Don't you know black people had their own hotels? Black people was the one that built the car, just like the computer. The black man built it. The black man came up with the internet. But you don't know because you don't do all the research. You don't know because they hide it. That's why I'm telling you, I started doing this part of our history. We have a lot of history. Let me give you another perspective of our history for those that are just tuning in.
All of these buildings all around here, as I told in class last night, they're ours. They belong to us. They're ancient, these buildings. There's a whole city underneath this city. They went and burned all the major cities, the major energy centers. Our ancestors set up these energy centers that we call Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Atlanta, Detroit, right? Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles. They are energy centers. They're not where they are in huge, large cities just because of some coincidence. There's energy and power in these places. London, Rio de Janeiro.
Rightful people that perspectives give us permission to download or rebroadcasting, I presume. But if we're not going to know our history, if we're not going to give our young people something to be proud of, everybody wants to be a gangster, a drug dealer, destroying themselves, the next door neighbors. All you got to do is come together and work together. There's power in numbers. Learn to love yourself. The word love is the most powerful weapon there is. That word right there, L-O-V-E. We can do much together than apart. We got so much history. We got so much history. Can I give you another example of our history?
What if I told you that before Beyonce, Oprah, Serena, the richest woman in America of the 20th century was an 11-year-old black girl? Sarah Rector was born in 1902 near Taft, Oklahoma, in what was then Indian Territory. As a descendant of African slaves listed as freedmen, she was allotted 159 acres of land under the Treaty of 1866. The parcel allotted to Sarah Rector was considered inferior, infertile soil, not suitable for farming, with better land being reserved for white settlers. In 1913, an oil well on her property struck a gusher, producing 2,500 barrels a day. News of her wealth quickly spread across the country, leading to loan requests, marriage proposals, and in fact, an effort to have her declared white by the Oklahoma legislature. At that point, she left Tuskegee and with her entire family moved to Kansas City, Missouri. She purchased a house on 12th Street that is still there and known as the Rector House.
And I want people who are in here who are not black.
We got so much history. So much things we can teach our young people. Keep them engaged. Keep them researching, reading positive things and finding positive ways. But like I said, I'm only one man. I won't stop because I love kids. Even though I may not know you, I may not know your child. I know he's human. I know he has feelings. I know they want somebody to love them for themselves, to direct them down the right path. As they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Knowledge is there. You see all these libraries? What I just showed you is in a book somewhere in the library, in a museum. Why are we not educating our young people? We got them using cell phones. But what are they doing to be creative? What have you seen them create? Are you checking to see if they're creating anything? Let me take another brief moment to show you another part of what I call that our history. Our history, because we have creative people. I play a lot of people music on my show, but this is my son who is a comedian. Take a moment to listen to one of his skits.
Hey man, really be your own people. Fortunately enough, got paid today. And you know what that means? Car problems. I was at home chilling. I swear, perfect timing. I looked at my phone. I got paid at the same time. I got a phone call from my wife telling me she popped the tire. I go pick her up. I drive her car over to the tire shop, go inside, buy some new tires. And this is where it gets strange. I go outside because I forgot my wallet. I go running outside because it's cold outside. As I'm running back, all I hear is his voice saying, "Stop running, you black."
Niger.
I turn around and look. I see these two white employees. They look at each other, then look back at me and point to this black woman who's just standing there. And the black woman's like, "Yeah, it was me. Stop running, you black."
Niger.
Bro, really just be your own folks.
Once again, it's our history. It's our kids that we have to raise them up and support them in what the causes that they're doing that are positive. Everybody's not going to be a LeBron James. Let's get it straight. But if he's trying to be a LeBron James, make sure he got the equipment. Make sure he's getting the right education so that he can tackle whatever obstacle that comes his way in a way that's going to demonstrate his attitude, his perseverance. We have to help our kids to do the right thing. Now, everybody ain't good, just like everybody ain't bad. We can talk about white people. All white people ain't bad. Because if it was, we would already be out. We'll be already out the situation. If all black people were good, we wouldn't be talking about gun violence in our community. We wouldn't be talking about mental health issues, the pipeline to prison. Just like you got day, you got night. You got good, you got bad. Some people are so bitter. For what? I didn't make myself. I didn't say, hey, I want to be born today. I didn't say, hey, I want to go to this school over here. I got just as many white friends that I got black. I got just as many Koreans and Filipinos that I got black. I'm not going to disrespect nobody for their race or their color. As long as you treat me as I like to be treated and I'm not being fearful of your presence, I'm good. As the scriptures say, we all fall short of grace. That's why we have to humble ourselves. Take our kids to church. Churches are sitting empty now. Some of the churches got less people after the pandemic. Some people are not reading the Bible to their kids and then asking them to ask questions. Give them a lesson at home. Even if they ain't in church, you got the Bible. You should have a Bible in your house. If you ain't got one, maybe that's the problem. If you ain't got a Bible in your house, you ain't got a Bible open in your house, that's the problem. You can't keep negative energy out if you don't have that Bible in your house. I'm from the old school. Got to keep a Bible in the house, and you got to keep it open. Because evil spirits is real. Evil is real. You can't see it until it's too late. I bet you right now, any of these people that lost their lives this week, I guarantee you, they ain't got a Bible in their house. And if they had one in their house, it was closed. I guarantee you. The enemy is devour and to destroy. That's in the Bible. That's in scripture. But you thought the book was just talking about everybody that was good? No. There's only one good one there. That was Jesus Christ. Only one person in that whole book was good. That was Jesus Christ. Because he wasn't a sinner. He was born into sin. He was born into sin. He came in a world to save us. We can't save ourselves. We can talk all we want and we can pray all we have to pray, but we can't. Now, to get to another one of our episodes.
I need y'all to hear this. When black people spend at Target $29 million a day. So if you're going to take our money, you better open up your doors and open up employment and open up scholarships. In any 30 days, black people spend $800 million in Target. Did y'all hear what I just said? In every 30 days, we are spending $800 million in Target. And today I came to announce we are going to break the spirit of white entitlement. We're going to break the spirit, here it is, of racism and sexism. The spirit is encroaching back into our community, back into our country, and back into our corporations who are intending to take us back to the 1950s. But because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we are wrestling against principalities. This is a spiritual issue. Don't y'all get confused. Don't y'all get caught in emotion. Don't you argue on Instagram. This is a spirit that we are going to have to confront.
And I'll call you back Monday with the right one because it's in the bank.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, yeah, please double check and then give us a call Monday.
Okay.
We're open at 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye. I apologize. I had a business call come in. You know, I'm the reception and everything on the weekend, and if not, it goes to voicemail. But as I try to explain, this is our history. This is what we need to be educating our young people. Little short clips like this on Facebook, and I'll be putting those names up next week. What site they on, and TikTok, Facebook, and so you can ask questions. We need to be educating them to ask questions on things that they hear. What do they think about the things that they're seeing? Are we leading them down a path of no return? If they listen to music, listen to what kind of music they're listening to, and then ask them, what is that song you playing? What is that song you playing? What is it saying? These are the things we need to ask. And because we in Black History Month, I want to briefly come back and, like I said, it's about our history. It's about our history that we have to recognize. Let me play this short clip. This was broadcasted and made for me by Barry Elliott.
Throughout the month of February, Black History Month celebrates the contributions of African Americans to American history and culture. Black History Month actually started as Negro History Week in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson. The goal of Black History Week was to educate African Americans about their cultural background and instill in us a sense of pride in our race. But in the words of a well-known actor, you're going to relegate Black history to a month? Black history is American history. All African Americans have to keep in mind the truth in this statement, and they and their children stand on the shoulders of many who came before them, such as Martin Luther King Jr., Jackie Robinson, Rosa Parks, Thurgood Marshall, Madam C.J. Walker, and many others. Black history is American history and should be recognized as such by everyone and not just one race. This public service announcement was sponsored by B48 Productions and Maestro Advertising.
There you go. Like I keep trying to say, it's about Black history. On this program, we will be talking about Black history for a number of years, a number of days on all my Facebook. I'm putting stuff there. Why? Because our future generation is dependent on it. We have to teach them and train them in the right manner. We have to educate them in the proper way so that when they grow older, they won't go astray. There's 10 commandments. Do your kids know the 10th commandments? Do they know that? Do they know the 10th commandments? So what are we teaching them? Yeah, well, your kids don't go to church. So what are we teaching them? Are we going to do better? Or are we going to continue to let our children die in the streets and then point fingers later? We have to stop the madness. It is our responsibility to take care of our kids. It is our responsibility to make sure that our young people be able to talk and play and educate. We have to do better. As you see the book,
us a sense of pride in our race.
This is another pro I wanted to play for y'all.
Here's the situation, Ronald. Nobody knows what to do with you anymore. In 4 days, you've struck a teacher, vandalized school property, and you've been arrested more than once. Do you have anything to say? Nope. That's his answer for everything.
And he says we don't spend enough time with him.
'Cause y'all don't. Y'all go to work, come home, eat, read the stock market, and go to bed.
Me, Ronald. I'm Dr. Adolph Brown, known to my friends in CAPTAIN85 as Professor B. Your parents here would like me to take a minute to talk to you about your problems. I'd like to take you to our campus, where we have kids going through similar things. Of course, you're going to have to do chores, but we're going to have to talk. I think we'll get you back on the right track.
If y'all got a basketball court, then it's on.
Sometimes it's hard to reach our children no matter how much we think we know them. If your child is acting out his or her emotions in violence, remember to seek professional help. This is Captain 85.
The Adventures of Captain 85.
And that's what it's all about, making sure that our young
The Adventures of Captain 85.
that we care about them. And
Here's the situation, Ronald.
because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Who's going to bring them to the forefront and say, we love you? It's all our responsibility. As they used to say, it takes a village to raise a kid. But I wrote in one of my comic books, today, the village is being run by the kids. Kids are teaching kids. Most of the kids that are born, their parents are probably 12 and 13 years of age or younger. 13, I'll say from 13 to 17 years old. Kids having kids. That's why you suicide, mental health issues. A kid having children, even if they're in their 20s. Mental health, meaning that their mental capacity is not capable of dealing with all the pressures of raising a child with no help. We have to talk less and do more. I don't like talking. I'm an entertainer. Let's get it straight. I'm an entertainer. I entertain people. I done did it for over 50 years. But every now and then, I'll stop entertaining and try to be a person that let you know all the things I do is because I care. I didn't come an entertainer just to make money. I came an entertainer to take care of my family and to be home a little bit more than other people were with their family. At least I was home when it was time for them to get out of school. I was there, and some nights I had nights off or weekends. We went to the movies every weekend. Every weekend. We went to the movies. I had my sons and them bring some of their friends if they wanted to. They didn't have to pay for anything. Personally, I paid for it myself. I made sure that they enjoyed going to the movies and not had to worry about nothing. And take them back home to their parents. Even take them out to dinner. Even ran contests so that they can win saving bonds. But all I get from the city is that, hey, all you trying to do is bribe somebody. Partner, what are you doing? You know more about bribing than me, so apparently that's what y'all do when you get in these contracts. It takes one to know one. I don't know nothing about bribing people. My Bible tells me to love one another like sisters and brothers. Help along the way. I ain't bribing nobody. I'm doing what I'm born to do. That's why I talk the way I talk and do what I do. I'm born to do what I do. Recognize why you here. When you gone, you can't do it. You can't say, well, God, I was there, but they weren't listening. He said, you couldn't have been doing what I wanted you to do. That's why I'm talking to you now. But you can't stay. You can't stay. You had your chance. You can go on back to where you were. Because there's two worlds. One for the good, one for the bad. You can believe it or don't. But you can go around Jerusalem. You can walk around it. But you must come in at the door. You got to come in at the door. Your spirit. When you leave this earthly body, you go back from which you came. Energy goes back from which it came. But it's up to where God's going to do with you when you stand before him in judgment. You will go through a lot of things on this planet. But one thing you must never do, never forget who you serve. Jesus is the only one that gave his life so that you and I could have a chance for everlasting life. People they don't understand how the system works. God don't talk to us. Only Jesus do. Only Jesus. That's why it's written, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son so that you and I could have a chance for everlasting life. For I, who sit on the right side of the throne of my Father, no man cometh to the Father unless he cometh through me. Unless you go through Jesus Christ, God do not speak to none of us. And then the preacher can say what he wants. God don't speak to him either. Because if he did, we wouldn't be in the predicament that we are. The churches wouldn't be empty. All this killing wouldn't be going on in our community. Don't try to put it on the evil one. He's doing his job. The evil one doing his job. But you ain't doing your job to keep the evil one from winning. Well, I ain't afraid to tell you. I ain't afraid to say it. But if you know more than I do, why ain't you stop the killing? Why ain't you in the neighborhood? Why is the police walking through the neighborhood? They're there to protect and serve. What you got the police doing is what you're supposed to be doing. The churches, but the preachers are supposed to be doing. NAACP, what you're supposed to be doing. All these organizations want titles, want to be the big man on the block. That's why I work by myself. Because I don't ask you for nothing. Because I don't owe you nothing. I only owe God. I only owe God. He gives me the authority to say what I say. Because if I don't say it, then I'll be just like y'all, standing in the need of prayer. I'm no saint. I just know what I signed up for. What did you sign up for? Did you sign up to do the right thing, to make sure your children live a prosperous life? Because this is what matters to me. The next generation. I can't tell you what not to do. I'm just saying what I ain't going to do. We should be talking about guns down and hand up. Until the next time we meet, till the next time we greet. This has been Captain 85, the best of the 757. Pass it along.